What up, y'all? This is your girl, Coach Nequa T, on the beat, and you are now tuning into another episode on the Spacious podcast, where healing meets transparency and faith meets mental health. And on today's episode, we are continuing our Show Yourself Grace series. And on today, we are talking about showing yourself grace and growing. Okay. So I know last episode we talked about learning. This time we're talking about growing. Now you may think, isn't that the same thing? Not really. It's not at all. Not whatsoever. I want to break it down of understanding what it means to actually show yourself grace and growing. So I like how the Oxford definition dictionary defines growing as an undergoing natural development by increasing in size and changing physically. As you grow physically, there are inner parts of you that has to grow too. Now, you can grow all day, but are you really learning? Just as well as you learning, but are you really growing? I know in the last episode about I addressed talking about how I love to learn, but it was like I really wasn't adapting to what I was learning. There wasn't any true growth that was really taking place. It was growth, but it was not as much growth because I continued to see myself go in the same cycle over and over and over again. So, growing is about becoming greater over a period of time. As stated in previous episodes, it's a journey, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. It's not a 2 day shipping or 1 day shipping on Amazon type of process. It growing is about becoming greater over time. It's a complete journey. So, in the essence of learning and taking in so much information daily, especially while healing, you may sometimes forget about the growth you have made while growing because you didn't pass the test and the test that tested you along the way. And I know for me, in a sense, like I have seen different times where it's just like, we talk about that shame as we stated in the previous episode. Shame was something that would easily come upon me because I felt like, well, man, I'm not worthy because I messed up. Like I continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. But I didn't really pay attention to the little growth that really took place. A lot of time that growth can look as small as a mustard seed. Literally, it can look as small as a mustard seed. So, in the growing process, when you allow yourself to even fall into that place of shame and not really recognize the growth that has taken place in your life, it can cause you to feel a lack of peace in yourself. It can cause you to stay stuck in a place of bondage or feel like you are lacking freedom when you already free. It's just a mentality process that you have to change. A mentality, a mental mentality, mental. It's a mindset change. It's a heart posture change. Is what I'm trying to get at. I was messing around with my words, y'all. But in the growing, you can sometimes, like I said, you can sometimes skip the piece of learning because you want to get it right. You want to get it right away. But it doesn't work like that. You have to allow yourself to go through the process and go through the mishaps that have already taken place. You have to allow yourself to be even in that season that feels so uncomfortable, that feels so challenging, that feels like it's like pulling teeth with myself right now. But I want to let you know that it is necessary because one thing for sure, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. uncomfortable. And that's even in the growing process. You got to get uncomfortable with, hey, I only did a mustard seed of growing in this process. You got to get uncomfortable with, like, hey, I messed up, but I'm not going to allow myself to stay stuck in this place of shame. That alone is showing growth. Even though you didn't get the outcome, or you didn't produce the action that you wanted to in the situation when you was tested again, the way you reacted upon yourself, that shows a level of growth. Recognizing where you are, reframing your mindset of how you react to yourself and releasing it, that is showing growth. That is showing growth. Getting it right, getting it right away without allowing your mind to process the seeds planted so they can grow properly can have you performing instead of allowing yourself to learn intentionally, to receive with application, to live. Let me say it again. Getting it right away without allowing your mind to process the seeds planted so they can grow properly can have you performing instead of allowing yourself to learn intentionally, to receive with application, to live, to apply it to your life daily. Being in a performance mindset will run you dry. Being a performance mindset will burn you out. Being a performance mindset will have you unsettled in your spirit. Being in a performance mindset will have you insecure and staying stuck and staying in a constant cycle over and over again. So, questions that I've had to ask myself, and maybe you need to ask yourself too, is why are you such in a rush to arrive? Why are you in a rush to arrive to the destination? What are you trying to prove, or who you trying to prove it to? As a result, I had to understand that my rush to get into the end result, it came from a place of just, I had tied my security to my success and pleasing and wanting to appear or be heard, or being seen in front of other people, or just being approved by other people. And even to this day, it's still an ongoing process. Like, even, let me just be honest, like, even doing this podcast and not getting as many views as I would want to at the time, it's just like, man, should, you know, a long time ago, or even to this day, I probably would have been like, maybe I should stop doing it. And it's just like, no, you keep going, because somebody needs this. It's gonna be here regardless. It's gonna be here regardless. It's not about being approved by other people. It's by touching that one person. If you can just get the one, or even if you can just get the message out, period, that is success. We got success defined all wrong. We think success is about a title. We think success is about how many followers we got, how many people are clinging on. But that is not what true success is. Success is what God approves and what is in the eye of the Father. And I ain't even mean to go off on this tangent, but I feel like it had to be said. So I wanted to remind yourself that it's not a marathon, as I continuously said throughout this series. It's not a marathon. It's not. Why did I say that? What I meant to say, it's not a race. It's a marathon. And I'm going to keep this part in here because we got to keep it real. We be trying to cut out all the parts that we didn't do right, but we got to keep the uncut parts in here too. So that's me leaving myself accountable for y'all. So, all right. So in the growing process, you have to remind yourself that this is a marathon, not a race to see who did purpose the best, or who got the purpose the best, or who already there. The reason why I say purpose, because we like to utilize purpose so much today, to the point it has come careless. But when you have arrived to your purpose and you have done it successfully, it means that your time on earth is done. And a lot of us, we have a lot of purposes. So let me just put that out there too. So, in order to produce in purpose, you have to walk purposefully, meaning allowing yourself to grow and learn at a pace God is requiring you to, not the way you want it to go because you want your life to be booming, or you want to be the influencer, or you want your life to go a certain way. Truth be told, once you get to the top, you will find out what you can and how much you can actually sustain, or what you cannot sustain. So it's better to learn now. It's better to grow now and not try to rush the process before you get up there, because you'll get sat down real quick, real quick. And that's just being real. Growth requires pricking and pruning. It's the message that I want to get across to you today as well. Growth is not a performance. Growth is not beating yourself up or taking yourself down, self sabotage lane when you mess up. It's important to love yourself through the entire growth process. Not only when you feel good, because this is how you learn to show yourself grace and build positive regard for yourself. You train your mind to become stronger and quick to change negative comments into positive comments when you allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to grow. Please allow yourself to grow. People, allow yourself to grow. Even in this podcast, I'm allowing myself to grow, because I can easily edit out the parts that I just messed up on just now, but I'm not going to, because that's the authenticity that comes with this podcast. That's the authentic side that I want to present to y'all, not this fake cliche stuff. This is what Spacious is about. It's about vulnerability, being transparency, because that's how the truth healing take place. So if there is nothing else you got from this episode today, I want to remind you to allow yourself to grow and not be in a rush. Ask yourself, why are you trying to rush yourself to grow? That's what I want you to ask yourself today. Deep breaths. So, in all, I pray that this video, I pray that this episode, those that are tuning in, listening in, that this really touched you today. It struck a nerve today. It helps you to make a choice today to even allow yourself to grow. Because you're doing a good job, even if you feel like you're not doing a good job. And y'all make sure you share with a friend, tell a cousin, tell a family member, share it with them, tell them to tune in, because we are living and learning and growing together over here. And make sure you tune in on all streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram at _Spacious Podcast. And this is a message from your girl, Coach Nequa T on the beat. We out.